Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, August 6th, 2018. Thank you for joining us this week. Let us get started. Friends of Mozilla for this week. Big thank you to IMO contributors E. Roseman, RCT Gamer 3, ETT, and BJ for reviewing extensions on AMO. We have a sort of an automated review system, but then we need to do manual checks of extensions reviewed risky, and they help us stay ahead of that big wave of extensions. We really appreciate all their hard work, so thank you to our reviewers. All right. Upcoming events this week. Today is, for our Canadian friends, is Civic Holiday. So happy Civic Holiday to all of our Canadian Mozillians and community. Hopefully you have a lovely day off, and we will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is the W3C Advisory Board meeting in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And Tontek from the ET team is going to be participating there. On Wednesday, we have the Add-ons Good First Bugs Triage, and that is at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time in the ACE video room. This is sort of a meeting that helps us go through new bugs in extensions and identifying, what's a good bug for a first-time contributor. So it helps us really just grow the community by having fantastic on-ramps for our contributors, and it's a nice little meeting. If you'd like to be involved in that triage process, there are links on the wiki with more information. The W3C board meeting continues. And it looks like that is all the stuff for this week. I do see Mitchell is here, and I know Mitchell wanted to say a few quick words, so if you need a moment, I can come back.
Yeah, okay.
You're good? Okay, so I'm going to have Mitchell come up now before we go into our speakers. I know, it's just going to be a short one this week.
I wanted to say a few words about Jerv. And I know I'm a week late. I was on a plane. I tried to get a message, but got garbled along the way. And I wanted to acknowledge the two sides of Jerv. You know, the many years and the many positive contributions and the number of people he brought in and helped and assistance to the broader FLOSS community, and then the set of behaviors and views that were hurtful and damaging. And I've written a short piece, which I'll post on my blog about it, which has a little more detail. I don't want to rehash the past or go back into, sort of difficult conversations, but I think it's important to reflect on the whole person. And Jerv found Mozilla in 2000, so very early on, very classic, open source, with some of our strengths and some of our weaknesses from that era, and practiced a form of open source, sort of seeing things that needed to be done, either doing them or encouraging other people to do them, that I felt is an aspect of open source and of Jerv's personality that helped us, that certainly I'll miss. And of course, he had a set of views and behaviors that were on the other side of the fence. And so if I were here as a 100% personal friend, I might say only the positive things. But because I'm here really on behalf of Mozilla, I think it's important to recognize the whole person, to take the benefits of what he brought us, to acknowledge the damage and pain that he caused, and to try to move forward and be a community that is both interwoven with many people of faith, many different faiths, really active atheists, and is wildly inclusive across all vectors. And so it does feel like it was a good part of a lifetime, with devoted to Mozilla and FLOSS and open source, a bunch of great things in there, and a whole package that's really deeply complicated. And holding all of that in one's head is a little awkward, and I don't expect or think that every person at Mozilla should be holding all of that in their head, but I do think that some of us should, and in the leadership of what is Mozilla and who are we and what are we trying to build and how do we deal with complexities and how do we deal with conflicts and problems when they arise, that some set of us should be focused and really paying attention to that. And so I try to do that. If you think that's something that you're really deeply engaged in, please feel free to let me know. I do think that sort of leadership is not a title and it's not hierarchical. In a good organization, it's spread throughout the organization. And so if there's something, that's unresolved for you that you feel needs more attention, please do feel free to let me know or Larissa. And if you are one of those people for whom holding all these complexities in your head is something that you do and you're thinking about it a fair amount anyway, and you feel like you'd like to engage with that, then please let me know as well. Thanks.
Thank you, Mitchell. And next we have Nathan, who's our research engineer in ET, to give us the Emerging Technologies Weekly Update. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great, okay. I'll try to be brief here. So first, the AV1 project had their official 1.0 release. And so this basically means that the AV1 bitstream is now finalized, and you can then build products and rely on it being stable. Excitingly, Firefox now includes support for this, as well as Chrome Canary. For nightly, you have to turn on a flag in about config. We've also been to a number of different industry events and gotten a lot of feedback from people who'll be implementing AV1 to look for that. In particular, YouTube, Facebook, and Netflix have all said they're going to try to do something with AV1 by the end of the year. We have the Ravi encoder that is a Rust AV1 encoder done by the DALA team, AV1 DALA team here in Mozilla, with the idea of creating a safe and FAP alternative to libaom, and it's written entirely in Rust. And what's exciting about that is that there's a lot of interest from the general open source AV community to do a project in Rust. All right. From the Things Gateway, version 0.5 was released of their Things Gateway project. This is a IoT project that lets you connect the devices in your house, and it has a bunch of interesting new rules and floor plans and a smart assistant in this version. There's lots of interest in it. They've had a lot of downloads, and if you have a Raspberry Pi, you can grab the software and try it yourself. And then last week there was this decentralized web summit in San Francisco, and this is looking at doing decentralized websites using web technologies. Mitchell gave one of the keynote talks, and there was also a hackathon that was hosted there. For more information, you can look at the blog post, and it's a pretty exciting space. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you, Nathan. And next we have Asa with the Firefox roadmap update. Get that queued up. There you go.
Hey everyone, quick update this morning. Firefox 6101 is our current stable release. 62 is in the beta channel. Beta 15 goes out tomorrow. There are 20 scheduled, so we're in the home stretch of betas for Firefox 62. Firefox 63 is in the nightly channel and moves to stable on October 23rd. The last week there have been about 380 bugs fixed, excluding test bugs. Firefox has a new preference section for content blocking that includes tracking protection. Tracking protection is going to be folded in with other content blocking, like blocking scripts that slow down your websites. And so we've got a new preferences section for that you can check out in the option preferences window. And the 6th most voted for bug of all time has been fixed. This was a web extensions bug. Support for the discarded property inside browser tabs create had 461 votes, making it the 6th most voted for of all time. The 5th most voted for of all time is also a web extensions bug. Says there's a lot of excitement from our web extensions community in building and creating new things for Firefox users. So we hope to see those fixes continue to roll in. That's it for this week. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Next, we have Michael Van Cleek in Portland with the Weekly Minute. Hello, Michael.
Hi, Potch. Hi, Mozilla. It's the Weekly Minute, the IT Weekly Minute. Weekly updates from Mozilla IT on the things that we're doing to support and empower all of Mozilla in our mission to keep the web a global public resource, open and accessible to all. An internet that truly puts people first, where individuals can shape their own experience and are empowered, safe, and independent. And today I just have one thing, and it's all about empowerment. Do you fancy a little learning out there? Well, check out my new Slack channel, Little Learnings. hashtag little-learnings. As Enterprise Solutions Architect, part of my role at Mozilla is to enable all Mozillians to envision routes to the future and figure out ways to get there. And figure out how to do it structurally. That's why I'm an architect. Reaching the future requires new skills and ways of thinking. And so I've set up the Little Learnings channel as a bit of an educational service and experiment. Just about every day, I can't promise daily, but regularly, I'll be posting a single slide or a map. And I'll give a little context for it in the Slack channel. I've started the channel by running through the slides from my presentation at OSCON on Mozilla's journey from data center to the cloud. So I'm doing a slide every day. It's a little 2 to 3 minute learning morsel for you. Sometimes it'll be technical, sometimes it'll be philosophical, but it's always going to be as interesting as I can make it. I hope you'll join me and you'll let me know if this experiment's valuable. Thank you very much. See you in the Little Learning Slack channel.
Thank you, Michael. And I think that wraps it up for the presenters today, but I did see a little note that maybe there was another friend of Mozilla at the top of the chart. So I'm going to jump back up there real quick and say thanks to tech speakers Andre G, Daniele, Eugenio, Huljing, Deepesh, Puya, Ram, Tushar, Viswa Prasanth, and Abraham, who delivered talk workshops and demos at DWeb in San Francisco, DevConf in India, and as well as events in Australia, Italy, and Indonesia. So thank you to all of our tech speakers who go all around the world and talk about fantastic Mozilla stuff. We could not do it without you. Right. By the way, that learning to pronounce everyone's names takes a little bit of time offline. But and we have a handful of introductions to do this week. First is in Portland, so I will send it over to Portland. And I will unshare my screen.
Hey people, I'm happy to announce that we have a new hire in marketing in Mozilla Marketing Engineering and Operations, Amy Churchwell, who's our new front-end web developer. And first project we worked on Mozilla.org.
Wonderful. Welcome. And then Karen in San Francisco, I think you have an introduction to do as well.
Hi, I'm Karen Ward, and I'm here to introduce Guy Larkin, who is joining my team as a senior program manager in the office of the CEO when working on cross-functional projects.
Very cool. Welcome. And we have an intro here in Mountain View.
I'm Julie McCracken from the Firefox Program Management Team, and it's with pleasure that I introduce Ilda Soto as our newest program manager who will be supporting the Phoenix and Android Components teams. She'll be located in San Diego working remote.
Welcome. Wonderful. Thank you. And with that, I believe we are all wrapped up for this week. Thanks to everyone for joining us. I hope you have a fantastic week, and you keep on rocking the free web. See you.